Okay, hello everyone. I'll welcome you all for the one more session. So, in this session, we'll be studying about what do you mean by RR method. Okay, so for solution of beams. Okay, how to solve a beam problem using a RR method. In the previous classes, we have solved the bar problems by using an RR method. The steps remains as it is. Okay, first you have to formulate the potential energy function, then you have to assume a displacement function, then you have to substitute the displacement function into potential energy function, then you have to minimize the potential energy function in order to find out the values of unknown, then you can substitute in the displacement function in order to find out the value of displacement. Okay, so this is a totally different case here. In the previous class we have studied for bars and now we are studying for the beam problem. So if you see here, we have a problem definition like you have to use an RR method to find out the displacement at the midpoint of the beam. So you have to find out the displacement at the midpoint of the beam which is being subjected to load P, okay, a load P. So when a load P is being applied at the centrally, how the displacement will be having. So if you see it is being if you see this particular beam is being fixed at both end and we will be applying a load at the center. So if I apply the load at the center, you can see how the deflection of the beam will take place. So at the center we will be having the maximum displacement. It's like this. So I am bending the, it is initially it is plane, I am bending the beam. So when I bend the beam with respect to the initial position of the beam is getting bent. Okay, the beam is getting bent, so you will be having at the center the maximum displacement. For this case we need to find out the displacement value. What is the displacement value at the center of the this particular beam? So first we will start with the solution. So already we know that the first is formulate the potential energy functional. Okay, potential energy functional. So first we will be doing that potential energy functional. So already we know that what is potential energy functional. Pi is equal to strain energy plus work potential. Pi is equal to strain energy plus work potential. So first we have to see what is the strain energy for a beam. So we have already calculated in the previous session what will be the strain energy for a beam. So it is given as EI by 2 integration 0 to L dou square V by dou x square the whole square into dx. So this is a strain energy equation for a beam. So you need to remember this, or I have shown you how to calculate the strain energy for a beam. Okay, so now we will write the work potential. So what will be the work potential for the point load? So this is a point load here, point load which is being given. See here at the center I am applying a point load. Because of that point load there is a deflection which is happening. So if it is a point load, directly I will be taking negative. You already know that it is work done on the system. It will be minus P into Vmax. Why I am taking Vmax is we know that at the center only there is a maximum displacement happening. So I will be including that parameter here. It will be P minus P into Vmax. Okay. So I hope this is clear. So strain energy already we have derived. Work potential will be based on the load which is being applied and there is a deflection of the beam. So I will just substitute these values here. Pi is equal to strain energy is EI by 2 integration 0 to L dou square V by dou x square the whole square into dx minus P into Vmax. P into Vmax. So this is the equation for potential energy function. Okay, so we have derived this now. What is the second step? We have to assume a displacement function. Assume a displacement displacement function. We have to assume a displacement function. Okay, so now I have already told you the logic behind the assuming a displacement function. Here if you see this, we are doing a one dimensional analysis. Okay, one dimensional analysis. So if you see what do you mean by a one dimensional analysis is the whole system is now converted into a line. Now the whole system is converted into a line, okay, and all the constants are inputted here. And if you see, if I take this whole beam to be a single element for the theoretical purpose, I will be seeing that this is a single element and it has 1 and 2 nodes. Okay, 1 and 2 nodes. So if you see a bar problem, okay, this is a beam problem. The bar problem, whenever we are solving, we took it as a one node will have 1 degree of freedom, which means that in a bar problem we have seen like this, there was a bar like this subjected to a load. So if I want to model this into 1D element is, I used to take a line here like this, I will take one node and two nodes. As we are interested only along the length side, so we used to write it as, at this we will be having an u1 displacement, here we used to have an u2 displacement. So each node was having a single degree of freedom, it can only move in one direction. So the as the displacement was only in one direction, so the what we call as the degree of freedom for the nodes was 1 degree of freedom. Now coming back to the beam, so when I see this beam, the beam is bending. Already you know that the beam will always bend under the subjecting of load. So when the beam is bending, see here what is happening, there is a two types of degrees of freedom which is happening here. Okay, so for example, if I take, this is a node, if I take this is an element, a single beam, okay, so if I take that beam divided into number of elements like this, okay, number of elements, so here I have taken a single element, later I will explain you this. So if I take number of element and I want it to bend in this particular way, I want it to bend this particular way, so this structure has to bend in this particular way. So now how has to do is, it has to go downwards as well as it has to rotate. So this node, if it has to come like this in this particular fashion, okay, in this particular fashions. So if you see here, this node was initially here and now it has come here, it has not directly gone down, it has taken an angle here. Okay, in this case the node has to be rotated, the node automatically gets rotated here. Okay, so automatically gets rotated to form this position, this to form this position, this to form this position. They are not downwards exactly, okay, they are not downwards exactly, there is a change in the direction also, it is going vertically as well as it is forming an angle. So only the beam will be considered to solve as 1 degree of freedom problem with 2 degrees of freedom. So the node has always 2 degrees of freedom. So that is, one is the vertical motion it should have and one more is the rotation. So we call it as dou v by dou x. So here also vertical motion and it has to rotate with respect to dou v by dou x. Okay, I hope it is clear here. See here, once again I will explain you, whenever a beam wants to bend, okay, so bending will be taken in a curvature form, not in a straight line. So when it is forming, if I take this as an initial node which before bending, when it gets bending, it will change the position in terms of vertically as well as angularly. So for that case, beam will be solved in a 1D problem as 2 degrees of freedom. So each node will be having 2 degrees of freedom. Unless if it doesn't have 2 degrees of freedom, you cannot bend the beam in analysis. Okay, you cannot solve the problem with respect to bending. Okay, hope it is clear here. Okay, so this is an example. So each node for a beam will have 2 degrees of freedom. So if I take this as a single element, this and this are the two nodes. Okay, so first node will be having 2 degrees of freedom, second node will be having 2 degrees of freedom. So 2 plus 2 will be 4 degrees of freedom, and the load applied is 1. Okay, so it will be having 5. So which means 5, it's not 5 degrees of freedom. Whenever we are assuming a displacement function, I have to take how many number of constants, I have to check it out. So if I see for a beam problem, displacement constraint, okay, how many degrees of freedom a beam can have? 2 degrees here, 2 degrees here, which means 4 degrees of freedom, and one more is load. So totally 5 constants I have to take. So it will be u is equal to, instead of u we'll take it as v. Okay, instead of u we'll take it as v, because the displacement is happening along y direction. The displacement is happening along y direction, we'll take it as v. V will be a naught plus a1x plus a2x square plus a3 x cube plus a4 x raised to 4. So how many constants? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have taken 5 constant values, and you have to find out the values of all the 5 constants. What is a0, what is a1, a2, a3 and a4 in order to get the displacement value. So where displacement is defined as the combination, the polynomial function here. So if I get all the values, I can write how the displacement varies with respect to x. Okay, so we'll start with the boundary conditions. So just take the boundary conditions here. So applying the boundary conditions, applying the boundary conditions. So what are the boundary conditions? See here, this node always have 2 degrees of freedom. You have to remember, each node will be having 2 degrees of freedom. One will be the displacement along y axis, one will be the rotation along this particular axis. Okay, if I take this as a z, it will be rotation along z axis. So these are the 2 degrees of freedom. You can take it as dou v by dou x. So always a single node will be having 2 degrees of freedom in a case of a beam. So now you know that this end of the beam is being fixed, this end of the beam is being fixed. So which means that the beam doesn't have any motional freedom. Okay, so there is no any motional freedom. So which means that at that particular node, the node is perfectly locked. The perfectly locked means these are the 2 degrees of freedom which are available for that. If it is perfectly locked because of the fixed end, you can say that there is no degree of freedom, which means that the displacement at node 1 is 0, and the slope, we call it as a slope, we will call it as a slope, this slope is also 0. Okay, so at node 1, or we call it as at x is equal to 0, at x is equal to 0, v is equal to 0. See, this is the first boundary conditions which we are taking. So remember that what we are doing is at node 1 or at x is equal to 0, and it is x is equal to L. So at x is equal to 0, the displacement pattern is 0. Okay, the displacement along y axis is 0 because it is fixed. You cannot have the displacement here. So v will be equal to 0. So if I apply this on this particular equation, so see here, v is equal to 0, all these x parameters will be 0. So if you see, a naught will be equal to 0. At x is equal to 0, v is equal to 0 means a naught is equal to 0. Okay, so next second boundary condition, what is this, that it is at x is equal to 0, dou v by dou x is equal to 0, which means that the slope is also equal to 0. So first we need to do the what we call it as the differentiation with respect to x partially, and then we have to apply the boundary condition. So if I take it as a dou v by dou x, okay, so dou v by dou x, what will be dou v by dou x? This will be 0. Next it will be a1 plus 2a2x plus 3a3x square plus 4a4x cube. So this is dou v by dou x. So applying the boundary conditions at x is equal to 0, dou v by dou x is equal to 0, which means that 0 is equal to everything becomes 0, and you will be getting a1 is also equal to 0. Okay, I hope it is clear. So these are the two boundary conditions. At x is equal to 0 we have applied the same two boundary conditions. If you see here, this end is also fixed. Okay, both the ends are fixed. So which means that if I go at x is equal to L, the overall length at x is equal to L, so if I start from here, this will be y and this will be x. If I call it x is equal to 0 here, x is equal to L. So I will be saying I will be writing the third boundary conditions at x is equal to L. The same thing happens here because it is been fixed. V is equal to 0. At x is equal to L, V is equal to 0. So what I am doing here is I am applying at x is equal to L, V is equal to 0. So which means that 0 is equal to, as we have seen, a0 and a1 are already 0. So we will not write these equations. We will directly go to a2. So it becomes a2L square plus a3L cube plus a4L raised to 4. So this is one equation. Okay, so this is one equation we will be writing. So here it is combination of a2, a3 and a4. So we will keep it as it is. We will apply one more equation, which is at x is equal to L, dou v by dou x is also 0, which means that there is no any rotation, because here logically if you see at this particular end there is no deformation happening, there is no bending, already bending has not started here. So which means that the bending starts next to this. It might be x is equal to L by 6 or like this. At this point the bending starts and increases and closes, but at the extreme end there is nothing happening because it is being held rigidly. For that case we are taking those boundary conditions to solve the problem. So if I go for the last boundary condition, at x is equal to L, dou v by dou x is equal to 0, that is a slope. Dou v by dou x is equal to 0. See, already we have seen this. So we have taken dou v by dou x. We will just apply the boundary conditions. Okay, we will just apply the boundary conditions and we will try to get the solution out of it. So a1 is 0 already. Okay, a1 is 0. So what you will get? 2a2L plus 3a3L square plus 4a4L cube should be equal to 0. Should be equal to 0. So we'll just check it out. Yeah, this will be equal to 0. So what we are doing here is we are getting the values of C and D. When you apply the boundary conditions of C and D, we will be getting two different equations. Okay, so when you get two different equations, so we will be just applying those relationship to find out the values of what is A2 and what is A3. So what I will do is I will consider these two equations. I will write A2 in terms of A3 and A4. Here I will just substitute it. So when I substitute it, I will get the values A3 in terms of A4. So if I substitute here, I will be getting A2 in terms of A4. So finally we have to get a common term to do the differentiation or to minimize the potential energy function. Okay, so what we are doing is we'll just rub this problem. So I hope you have taken the problem. So I'll explain you at this particular point we need to find out the maximum displacement. So for the space constraint, I'll just rub this. So I'll consider those two equations. It is simple. We have to just find out the constant values here. So I'll take this equation as well as this equation to get the values of A2 and A3 in terms of A4. So what is that equation? A2L square plus A3L cube plus A4L raised to 4 should be equal to 0. should be equal to 0. So L square is a common term here. So I'll just eliminate the L square term. So it will be A2 plus sorry A2 plus A3L plus A4L square should be equal to 0. So A2 will be minus of A3L plus A4L square. A3L plus A4L square. So this you got it as A2 in terms of A3 and A4. Okay, I hope it is clear here. So then I'll substitute A2 in this particular equation. I'll be getting the A3 in terms of A2. So what I'll do is 2, I'll write the first equation 2A2L plus 3A3L square plus 4A4L cube is equal to 0. So this is the equation. I'll substitute what is A2 here. So what I'll do is 2, okay, A2 is minus of A3L plus A4L square into L plus 3A3L square plus 4A4L cube should be equal to 0. So if you solve this, what you will get? So this becomes minus 2A3L square if I multiply this. So this becomes minus 2A4L cube, correct? Minus 2A3L square and minus 2A4L cube plus 3A3L square plus 4A4L cube should be equal to 0. So you have to solve this. So it is minus 2 plus 3, you will be ending up with A3L square, and this is minus 2 and plus 4, so you will be getting plus 4A4L cube should be equal to 0. So what you will get? A3 will be I'll just check it out. Yeah, okay. So if I take A3L square will be equal to minus 4A4L cube. Okay, so A3 will be equal to minus 4A4L. Is it right? Sorry. So plus it will be 2 here. Okay, A3L square plus 2A4L cube. So if I do it, I'll be getting A3L square plus 2A4L. So this will be minus 2 and this will be minus 2. Okay, so A3 will be minus 2 A4L. So this is the A3 value. Okay, I have just made a mistake here. So just you have to take it as plus 4 minus 2 will be plus 2. So next I will be applying A3 to A2. Okay, I will be just substituting the values here. So what I will get? So if you see here, A2 is nothing but minus A3L plus A4L square. Okay, so A2 I'll write it minus, I'll keep it as it is. A3 is nothing but minus 2A4L. So here I'll take a square bracket. A3 is nothing but minus 2A4L into L plus A4L square. So what will get? A2 is equal to, this becomes 2A4L square plus A4L square. Okay, so A2 yeah, it is plus, okay, it is overall minus, no, so this becomes minus here, so A2 will be equal to A4L square. Okay, so here outside it is minus, means this will also be minus, so minus of minus and thus minus, so we'll be getting A2 is equal to A4L square. So now you have got the values everything in what we call it as in A4. So if you see here, if I substitute all the values in this V, what you will get, V is equal to A0 is 0, already we have calculated, A1 is 0, already we calculated, A2 I'll write it in terms of A4, so A4 L square X square, A4 L square, A4 L square into X square. So what is A3? A3 is minus 2A4 minus 2A4 Lx square. So sorry, L x cube. So if you see A3 is nothing but minus 2A4 L, x cube is the term which is remaining, I will write it as x cube plus A4 x raised to 4. Okay, so this is how we will write the V equation. So if you see the potential energy functional equations, so these are the constant. What we require is here dou square V by dou x square and V max. Okay, so where the V max was possible, V max was possible if x is equal to L by 2. At the center we used to get the maximum displacement. So first I will write the maximum displacement, V max. What will be the V max will happen, so I will write at x is equal to L by 2, V will be equal to V max. Okay, at x is equal to L by 2, V is equal to V max. So V max will be equal to, now L by 2 I have to take, A4 L square is there, x, wherever x is there I will take L by 2, L by 2 whole square minus 2A4 L by 2 cube, okay, plus A4 L by 2 raised to 4. So this is how we are substituting. I'll just get the value for this. What will be the V max here? So what will get V max? So V max is it will be A4 L raised to 4, A4 L raised to 4 divided by 4, okay, minus 2A4 L raised to 4 divided by 8, hope it is correct, yeah, divided by 8, plus A4 L raised to 4 divided by 16, So these are the fractional terms which we have got. We need to solve them now. So if I take V max here, I have to take the LCM out of it. So LCM will be 16 for this. Okay, so just check it out. Yeah, LCM will be 16. So if I take here, how much will be a 16? 4 is 4A4 L raised to 4 minus 8 2s are, so 2 means minus 4 A4 L raised to 4, 16 ones are plus A4 L raised to 4. So what you will be getting, this gets cancelled out, so you will be getting V max as A4 L raised to 4 divided by divided by 16. So this is the value of V max. So from the substitution we now got the value of V max. Now we should get the value of dou V by dou square v by dou x square. So already you got what is v here. We know that what is v. I have to just differentiate it twice to get the value of dou square v by dou x square. So v is nothing but a4 l square x square minus 2a4 l x cube plus a4 x raised to 4. Okay, this is v here after substituting all the values. So I'll take dou v by dou x this. So differentiating with respect to x, what I'll get here is, so differentiating with respect to x, I'll get 2a4 l square x will be one term minus 3 into 2, that is here 3x square will be there. So 3 into 2 will be 6 a4 l x square plus 4a4 x cube. Clear? 4a4 x cube. So next what we will get, we will be doing dou square v by dou x square. So we will be getting it as 2a4 l square, x will be 1. So minus 12a4 lx plus 12a4 x square. So this is dou square v by dou x square. Okay. So now we will be substituting the equation in the potential energy function, the displacement equation, and then we will be integrating it to get the value of a4. Okay. So substituting, that is the third equation. So I'll write the same equation once again. So that will be third step. See, this Rayleigh-Ritz method for beam is bit lengthy, but we need to do it to get the solution out of it. So substituting the displacement model in potential energy function. Okay, so what is the equation here? So pi is equal to ei by 2 integration 0 to L dou square v by dou x square the whole square into dx minus p into v max. Okay, minus p into v max. So now we will be substituting the values. Pi is equal to ei by 2 integration 0 to L. Okay, so dou square v by dou x square, I'll just do it here. 2a4 L square minus 12a4 Lx plus 12a4 x square the whole square into dx and minus p is the load and Vmax is given as a4 L raised to 4 divided by 16. a4 L raised to 4 divided by 16. We need to solve this problem. Okay, so now this becomes a bit lengthy here because we have already three equations here, which means that 3 unknown parameters are there. We need to multiply or we need to square it. So squaring will be a plus b plus c the whole square, and then we have to integrate it. So it is bit lengthy here. So we'll solve that. ei by 2, I'll keep it as it is, integration 0 to L, I'll keep it as it is. So what you are getting here is a square plus b square plus c square plus 2ab plus 2bc plus 2ca. So you have to do that. So I have to do the squaring term. So 2 becomes 4 here, a4 square L raised to 4, this is a square, plus 12 square becomes 144 a4 square L square x square plus 144 a4 square x raised to 4. X square is there, x raised to 4. What I have done is, I have done a square plus b square plus c square plus 2ab I have to do it. So 2ab means 2 into 2, 4, 4 12s are 48. Okay, 4 12s are 48. So this becomes minus here, because you have minus here, 48. Okay, so next a4 into a4 becomes a4 square, l square into l becomes l cube, and one more term is x. Okay, so next you have to take, just I'll name it a b c, a square b square c square, you are done 2ab. Now you have to do 2bc. So 2bc means I'll take minus 12 12s are 144, 144 into 2 will be 288, 288 a4 square. Okay, then it becomes l, then it becomes x cube. Yeah, then it becomes x cube. Is it clear? So next you have done 2bc, then you have to do 2ac. So this becomes plus only. Okay, 2 2s are 4, 4 12s are 48. So 48 a4 square, okay, l square x square, l square x square. So this is, and there is a dx term here, you have to do integration afterwards. So this is only the strain energy parameter. So minus p into a4 into l raised to 4 divided by 16, divided by 16. Okay, I hope it is clear here. So now we will do the integration of this and then finally apply the value of L, that is the limit points, and we will be getting the solution out of it. So see here, if I do the integration, so can I take some common term outside? Not required now, so we will do that. So it becomes EI by 2 integration, I have to do it now. So it becomes 4 a4 square l raised to 4 into x plus 144 a4 square l square x cube divided by 3 plus 144 a4 square x raised to 5 divided by 5 minus 48 a4 square l cube x square divided by 2 minus 288 a4 square l x raised to 4 divided by 4, okay, plus 48 a4 square l square x cube by 3. So the limit will be 0 to l minus p into a4 into l raised to 4 divided by 16. Okay, so we need to now put the limit values here. Okay, so what you will get here is, so I will solve completely this problem and then later I will just substitute the answer. So these are some lengthy problems, you need to practice them, then it will be easy for you to do the solution. So this becomes EI by 2, I will just put the limits here, the limits are simple, 0 to L it is, so only L parameters has to be substituted. So it becomes 4a4 square into L raised to 5. I have to put L here. So now 144 a4 square L raised to 5 divided by 3 plus 144 A4 square L5 divided by 5. Next, minus 48 A4 square L raised to 5 divided by 2 minus 288 A4 square L raised to 5 divided by 4 plus 48 A4 square L raised to 5 divided by 3. So this is the limits which you have put, minus PA4 L raised to 4 divided by 16 divided by 16. Okay. So if I do that, so I'll end up with this particular equation. Okay. So what I will do is I'll take the LCM out of this and I'll try to get the solution. So finally what you will get here is, so pi is equal to 48 EI L5 divided by 120. Okay, so just you have to take the LCM, otherwise it will be lengthy, minus P L raised to 4 PA4 L raised to 4 divided by 16 should be this is pi. Okay, so now we got the pi equation in terms of A4. So next what you have to do, the next step is we have to minimize the potential energy function. We have to minimize the potential energy functional. Potential energy functional. So how to minimize that? So what is the parameter we have? We have A4 as a parameter. So I'll write it as dou pi by dou A4 should be equal to 0. So if I do that, what I'll get? So I'll be getting here pi is equal to dou pi by dou A4 should be equal to 0, means 0 is equal to, so it is 2. So 2A4 means 2 and 60 gets 120 gets cancelled. So you will be end up in is 48 by 60 EI L raised to 5 A4, okay, minus P A4 A4 will be differentiated, it becomes L raised to 4 divided by 16. So what you will get here? 12 fours are, yeah, 12 fours are, 12 fives are. So we will be ending up here is 4 by 5 EI L raised to 5 A4, okay, should be equal to PL raised to 4 divided by 16. So what your answer will be? A4. So this gets cancelled here. So A4 will be equal to 5 by 16 fours were 64, 5 by 64 P upon EIL, P upon EIL. So A4 is 5 by 64 P upon EIL. So what we need is here, we need Vmax, okay, we need Vmax. So Vmax already we have got the equation in terms of A4. So what is Vmax here? So Vmax we have got it as one second. Vmax we have got it as A4 L raised to 4 Vmax is A4 L raised to 4 divided by 16. So what you are getting here is A4, A4 is already, you know that it is 5 by 64 P upon EIL, okay. So I'll multiply L raised to 4 divided by 16. So LL gets cancelled here. So you will be getting it as value as 5 upon 1024 PL cube by EI. PL cube by EI. So this is Vmax. This is the solution for this particular problem. So if you go with the MOM results, so exact solution from the MOM, you got it as Vmax as PL cube divided by 192 EI. So 192 EI is this. So if you do this, you will get almost the nearest answer. So we got Vmax here, okay. So Vmax is PL cube by EI upon 1 upon 92, okay. So this is how we need to solve the beam problem. So what we have done, we have first equated the potential energy function, then we assume the displacement model. See here, it is bit lengthy process to get the solution out of this. So you should be very cautious whenever you are solving the problem. So everything has to be converted into a single constant. So what we have done is everything is we have converted in terms of A4, so that finally if I get A4 value, okay. So if you leave as it is, what happens here is you have to do the differentiation for 3 or 4 terms. So it is better to get only differentiation with respect to one term. So we did it, we got the values for A4 here, and Vmax is nothing but A4 L raised to 4 divided by 16. So I have solved it. So I got this particular solution. This is the solution for the problem. And if you see, if you refer to the MOM or the numerical solution, you will get this as the solution for them, and we have got this equation. So if you get the division factor, so you will be getting near to this particular problem. Okay, so which means that FEM is an approximate solution, but it will try to go near to the exact solution. So why we are using FEM is for this simple beam problem we have the numerical solution, but when you go for the complicated problem we don't have the equations to solve them. So this logic works good for the solution of complex problems also. So for this case FEM is much more what we call it as useful. With the help of a computer and such things, we can solve the most complicated problems, and we will be more near to the exact solution. Okay, so in the next session I will be taking one more problem on this. Okay, one more problem on this, so that you will be much more clear about the concept. Thank you.